So are we filming? Yes, we are. Okay, so this is a slight departure from my normal video, I guess. It's a behind the scenes thing. What I'm going to talk about is how I make my videos, the workflow, if you like, and maybe a few trials and tribulations. But I do have my I've got a few notes, so I've got a well, not so much notes, but bullet points. So I've jotted them down in my trusty Guildford Mini Extra Slim, and let's crack on. Okay, so the first thing is ideas. I come from the perspective of being a long-term filofax user. I just think they are a fantastic thing, and that's why we're here, really, isn't it? But where do I get my ideas from? Well, I have about 50 ideas that I haven't filmed yet. So what I do, and it's very handy to have a filofax in this situation, is I just jot them down, and I when I get around to them, I will make a video and share those thoughts with you, those ideas, those reviews, etc. What I use for my gear, I'll just include a few photographs at this point. I use a GoPro fitted with miniature dead cat sound mufflers, if you like, to minimise wind noise. And I am actually filming very, very close to the lens. I'm only about 8 inches away from the lens, because I'm using a Max Lens Mods, which gives, I believe, a 15 or 16 millimeter field of view in a 35 millimeter full frame equivalent perspective. And that allows me, I just discovered by accident that although I do have several microphones for other purposes, I've actually found that so long as you are within a foot of this GoPro, which is a GoPro 9, the sound is actually spectacularly good. Sometimes I use I haven't got it today, but you can compare the sounds from this video to not the last one, but ones in early October. I actually use a metal shroud, which is a 1960s metal photographic lampshade for a photo light, and that makes a dramatic difference to the sound coming from a main road, which is just over there. And I generally don't use my GoPro anymore to film me talking, but what I do is I use a GoPro, not a GoPro. I don't generally use an iPhone for talking anymore, because the GoPro is so good, and the noise floor, for you sounds nerds out there, is spectacularly good with the GoPro 9 compared to later models, the GoPro 10 and the GoPro 11. The vision is better, the video is better, but the noise floor is slightly higher, which is undesirable. So that's why I stick to a GoPro 9 with the Max Lens Mods. Okay, so we're being a bit nerdy here, but this is a behind the scenes video, isn't it? So what I do is I use an iPhone for the overhead shots when I'm doing unwrapping videos, So that is what I'm doing. I tend to shoot in 1080p rather than 4K, simply because I think that for a start, my workflow is so much more improved because my computer can't really handle 4K editing. Although interestingly, my phone, my 12 Pro Max, I do have LumaFusion installed on it, and I'm experimenting with that because that is fantastically good for video editing 4K videos. But at the end of the day, this is effectively a discussion, and the 1080p from both this GoPro and particularly my iPhone, my 12 Pro Max, is spectacular. And also, I'm acutely aware that longer files can be problematic for some people if they have slow broadband, or they don't have, they have limited bandwidth on their phone. So certainly I'm using 1080p predominantly. I did start with 4K, but then I dropped to 1080p for ease of use for me, and because it's good enough for those who are using watching this on a phone, or most laptops and desktops. Very, very few people are. I mean, that's obviously going to change in time, but at the moment, very, very few people have the ability to watch 4K video on a screen. So there we go. And also it would show up all my bad skin, wouldn't it? So editing. What do I do with the editing? Well, I did try out. I'm an Apple Mac kind of guy. So I have an iPad, I have a couple of iPhones, I have an Apple MacBook Pro, and I have a couple of iMacs. Well, I will have two iMacs very, very shortly, but at the moment I've just got one iMac. But I have tried Final Cut Pro, and it is just overkill for what I'm doing, because I'm not multi-layering sound and vision, and so I have found that, at least at the moment, iMovie, which is a free app that appears on phones and Apple products, is good enough. It really is good enough, and it's free. So at the moment I'm using iMovie. At some point I may well switch to LumaFusion, but my current iPad isn't powerful enough to do it. And although it is possible to do it using a modern iPhone, and it works spectacularly fast even in 4K, the screen is, I would have to have even stronger reading glasses, and it's a bit of a pain. You can do it, and I know that some people, journalists, edit on their mobile phone, but for me, I'm not using LumaFusion at the moment. Although that is a backup in case I'm for some reason unable to use iMovie. So what I do is I take the forgive me if I'm teaching you to suck eggs, but I'm just explaining it in some detail for those that don't know what the process is. So I'm recording onto a mini SD card in my GoPro at the moment, and that is put into a full-size SD card adapter, and then I plug that into my iMac. Luckily, my iMac comes from an era where you do actually have an SD card slot. and my MacBook Pro does as well. But that gets uploaded to my iMac, and then I then transfer that into iMovie, and then I have a very, very simple editing process. Just occasionally, if there is a problem with the sound splitting from vision out of the in terms of the GoPro file, which does happen sometimes, it's not a totally reliable thing, then I have the opportunity to resync the sound and the vision in post, because I do the 3 claps at the beginning and the ends, so that I can sync the sound and video. And just occasionally I do that with certainly at the beginning I was doing that every time with my iPhone, with my 2 iPhones. But it's an easy enough process, because for me, I'm only doing a handful of scenes. This one is just one scene, so it's very, very easy to handle one scene rather than layers and layers and layers. I have experimented with, for instance, J-cuts. You'll have to Google J-cuts, because it's beyond the timescale to explain what a J-cut is. But I have experimented with more ambitious editing using J-cuts as an example, and I'm certainly with some of my other channels it's more involved, and I am recording on separate microphones, and I am using more advanced editing processes. But certainly with Flatability, it is, I'm basically having a chat, and I'm not trying to impress people with my editing skills, because I'm not great at editing. But that's not. I'm not trying to. This isn't the time and place to demonstrate editing skills. It's the main thing is to get the information to you, in a easy, informal way. And so there we go. And then once I've downloaded once I've downloaded and edited the footage from my GoPro, then while that's doing, I'm transferring to the cloud my footage from for instance the overhead unwrapping shots, and that will then be downloaded to my iMac, and then I will then transfer that footage to the iMovie app, and then I will fit everything together. Then I will render it all back to the iMac, and then I will check it and double check it, and then I will upload it to either YouTube or Patreon if it's an exclusive for Patreon, or for the purposes of early access, because my patrons get to see everything a few days before YouTube viewers. But then I use YouTube to host not only the YouTube videos, but also the Patreon videos as well. So that's how I do the editing. Time management. Do I have a plan? Do I have a cunning plan doing this? Well, not really. So I'm just getting them out there as fast as I can, and certainly from a point of view of time management with YouTube, what I have got into the habit, as you'll know if you see these on YouTube, is I've got into the habit of saving them up, and then if I have one to upload, then I will upload it 10 o'clock Saturday morning UK time. and it is what it is. So there is not really any time managed per se, but from a health point of view and from a logistics point of view, I just want to get them up there as quickly as possible for both Patreon and YouTube. Right, I've got down here interaction with viewers. So this is important for me because I'm an enthusiast and I want to share my enthusiasm with people, viewers that are kind enough to leave comments, leave feedback. Some of this feedback has been very complimentary. I think I've had one or two people that have said that my videos are too rambling and too long. Well, this one may be not for them, but in general, the response has been pretty good. I'm up to just over 400 subscribers now on YouTube, and as you can see from if you follow the link to Patreon, I have a small but dedicated band of followers. I've got 7 subscribers on Patreon at the moment, and everyone, whether they are on Patreon or YouTube, are very, very important to me. So what I do is what I try and do every day is answer comments and feedback from Patreon users first, because I have to prioritise that, because they are helping me fund this channel. But I also, not every day, but almost every day, I go through the comments, questions and feedback that YouTube viewers leave, and the way I do this to try and avoid missing any comment, because it's starting to get to the point where I'm getting that I could miss comments, is I've got the settings set so that I review every single comment before that comment goes live. It doesn't go live yet, and that's not because I'm concerned about sort of dodgy comments. And to be honest, that is a problem on YouTube. You will get lots of you'll get some undesirable links in comments. So that is one reason why people are a bit wary of comments on YouTube. Sometimes if it gets too bad, they completely switch the comments off. But I don't want to do that, because the main purpose of comments is what we're sharing, an enthusiasm for filofaxes, and other brands are available. But what I do is I find that the comments that you send me, all of you, are very, very motivating. It's obviously I've never one or two people I have met who are followers, but generally I only know you through the ether, as it were. But I see comments as a fundamental part of YouTube, and sometimes questions are asked which will end up being part of a forthcoming question and answer session. In fact, I've got enough questions now to do my first Q&A. I think I might, because of the length of time it will take me to explain each comment, I might limit it to 3 questions per video, but that's open to change. But apart from feedback, good and bad, constructive feedback, I really enjoy sharing my opinions and reading the opinions of others. So interaction with viewers is a crucial part of this video and this channel, and more so this channel than other channels, but I do the same thing for other channels too. As you have noticed recently, I have started talking about more esoteric stuff in terms of the practicalities of paper-based organisation in a digital world, and how you can where there's a role and indeed advantages in having a paper-based organising yourself in a paper-based style, if you like, but also the being acutely aware, including myself, that a hybrid system is something worth looking at. I certainly have a hybrid system, so my main diary for the next several years is not in several filofaxes with a day to a page. It is online, and in here I just have the next 5 days, and every day I do a review, generally in the evening, and I transfer what I've got to do for the next coming day, so that it remains a 5-day diary. However, my plans for the future in terms of the channel, I don't think I'm ever going to run out of things to say. I find it very, very therapeutic, and I'm going to carry on doing this for hopefully many years. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be here forever, and that fact has become quite salient for me over the last couple of years, and it's one of the reasons why from a health point of view, I took early retirement, and this YouTube thing, such as it is, has become a bit of a hobby, not necessarily an obsession, because I do other things as well. I have quite a few interests and hobbies, but this is becoming this is very, very enjoyable for me. So I can't imagine. I'm not doing this to make money, although it is actually nice to have being supported financially, because it allows me to buy more filofaxes, for instance, and so at some points soon that I will enjoy some revenue share from YouTube when I reach 1,000 subscribers. I do find it very, very gratifying as the number of subscribers are rising, and also it gives me a sense of purpose and a sense of responsibility to make as many videos as I can, because I'm acutely aware that when I'm no longer here, I quite like the idea that I'm still there actually on YouTube. I imagine that my videos they're not going to disappear when I disappear, and I've left instructions with my daughter such that she can if I'm no longer here, she will let you guys know that I'm not here, and that's the reason why I'm not doing any more videos. However, without being morbid, that is my plan for the future. Is I only have one plan, and that is to carry on with my hobby and my enthusiasm, which hasn't dimmed. In fact, it's actually stronger as I get more involved in filofaxes. There are so many things I want to share with people if they're kind enough to devote some of their precious time to watching my videos. So there we are. The plans for the future is I have no plan other than keep going. I think we're at the 18-month point in terms of the age of the channel, and I just wanted to do a bit of a behind the scenes and plans for the future, etc., etc. I hope you found it enjoyable and useful. If not, if you thought it was too long, then let me know as well, because it's all constructive feedback. But this is obviously not the normal video I do. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to sharing with you my next video, which I've nearly got ready, and I'm probably going to film it tomorrow, because I said I would get as many videos as I could done before the end of the month. So thank you once again, and until next time, or tomorrow maybe, goodbye.